In this video, we are going to learn about the Taimonov Sicilian, and the Taimonov Sicilian is played often at the top levels and it leads to complex and tactical positions. And it starts after the move e4 c5, knight f3, you play e6, this is the French Sicilian. Then white goes d4, takes, and then knight to c6. This is the Taimonov Sicilian, and here white have generally two responses, either knight c3, which is the main move, or he can also go knight to b5. First, if he plays knight to b5, the main threat is knight to d6, which will force you to trade your bishop. So here, the only move which prevents this is d6. After that, white generally goes c4, defending his knight. You can kick this knight away anytime, and white will maneuver his knight like this, or he can also go directly knight to c3. So you just play knight f6. Let's say he goes knight 5 c3. Hoping that he will play a6. You just develop the other bishop, and after bishop e2, you can just castle here. White also castle, and then you can play b6, develop the other bishop, and the game goes on. So here, the main move is knight to c3. After that, you are going to play queen to c7. Then he goes bishop e3, overprotecting his knight and also developing the bishop. And here, you can play e6 to prevent white's pieces from jumping forward. And here there is also another sideline, which is knight to f6. Here white generally goes f4, expanding along the king side. You play bishop to b4, pinning this knight. So he goes knight b5, defending this knight. Then you play queen to a5, putting even more pressure on this knight. He goes e5, attacking this knight. You play knight d5, which puts more pressure on the knight, so bishop d2. And then you can just take this knight, and after b takes c5, you have doubled white's pawn, and after that you can save your bishop, and the game goes on. So here, the main move is a6, preventing white's pieces from jumping forward. Then he goes queen to d2 with the idea of castling long. You just play knight f6, developing your knight. White long castle here, and then you play bishop to b4, putting pressure on this knight. Let's say he goes f3 with the idea of pushing g5, h4. And here you play knight to e5 with the idea of jumping to the c4 square in order to trade one of white's bishop for your knight. So let's say he goes knight b3, then you can just play knight to c4, and then let's say you give up this bishop for the knight. You can expand along the queen side, move your bishop, and then launch a quick attack. White will also try to launch a quick attack along the king side. And here, after knight to e5, instead of playing knight b3, he can also go g4, trying to launch a king side attack. Then you can just play b5 to counter on the queen side. So after that, you can move this bishop back and then develop this bishop and put this rook on this open file or even castle, and the game goes on. Well, this is not the end. If you want to see the previous videos on the Sicilian Defense, then you can check out this playlist. And if you don't want to miss the upcoming videos, then don't forget to subscribe.